Hope you're all having a lovely Friday evening. I myself think I'm doing hunky-dory. I've still got a little bit of a scratchy hoarse throat, so apologize for that. But I don't think it'll get too much in the way of what we got going on tonight. This is... Oh, big stretch, big stretch. Don't forget, everyone, get your stretches in, posture checks. Maybe we'll drink a little bit of water. We're going to be here just hanging out for a little bit, just hanging out, chit-chatting. This is the first episode of what I like to call Geek-out Night. It doesn't quite have the same ring as Tavern-Talks, but essentially what I want to do for Geek-out Night is I think I talked about, at least on my previous stream, which was on Twitter at, or not Twitter, I'm sorry, it was on Twitch at Aruka750. Highly recommend you check that out. That's where I do a lot of game and streaming. I also stream a little bit here on YouTube as well, but I don't think YouTube quite has the same traction so far. But yeah, so Geek Out Night is going to be a bit more of a sort of me selecting a tabletop RPG element in general and geeking out all about it. This can be a entirely different system, so maybe it could be Wrath and Glory for Warhammer 40k, or maybe I'll grab my Dragon Age core rulebook system and talk about how that plays out to all y'all. Today, though, is going to be a little bit different. You probably heard me talk about it before again, but I wanted to talk about Delver's Guide. Delver's Guide to Beast World is a third-party supplement for D&D 5th edition. The best way I can describe it is it was kind of made by furries for furries. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love it to bits. For some reason, my YouTube control panel is not showing my chat. That's fine. You know, I won't worry about it. Just won't worry about it. Ooh, excuse the yawn there. I've been a little bit tired all day. I'm trying to perk back up a little bit. Probably should have grabbed a coffee before this. But, oh, where was I? Yes. So, Delver's Guide to Beast World. Let's kind of do a quick brief rundown. Like I said, it's a sort of third-person supplement made by furries for furries, but it also has a lot of really great content in it that honestly, like, I wouldn't say is like furry exclusive. It is, of course, you know, around the fluff and flair of the Beast World, but I love some of the mechanics and ideas in this setting and system, or setting specifically, that I think could honestly be played around with in multiple different like facets or examples. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do here real quick, since I can't quite see my chat in OBS for some reason, I'm just going to take a little window here and I'm going to move it right over here, and then that way I should be able to keep an eye on chat as well. So hi chat, if you're there, you know, hello, hope you're having a wonderful day. To introduce us here to the Beast World, I'm going to go ahead and open up our handy dandy tome here. Magic Bidet. Here we go. Now we can see our lovely little thing here. I'm going to read from kind of the introduction of the book. We can scroll on down here. First off, Colin seems like a wonderful fella. I love this whole introduction here. It's your case of, you know, you use this system and this book as you want to use it. There is nothing compelling you to use it specifically how they want, or nothing compels you to follow it to the letter. You can play around with this, you can throw it in the trash, you can mess with it, do what you want to do and be comfortable and happy with it. But yes, so it's 1365. There are living beasts who remember the birth of our world 13 centuries ago. On that first day, the beast mother Piroa chose a menagerie of her favorite animals. We stood up, and she showed us the horizon. In the centuries following, we built cities and societies spanning our world and beyond. We formed homelands, 5 broad cultural and geographical identities. Then, our young reality's rulebook was rewritten. In 1350, we repelled a human army's invasion. Humans were curious creatures from a parallel world we didn't know existed. The war surprised us, and a grueling conflict followed. After 3 years of occupation, we pulled freedom from the precipice of defeat. The invader war redefined our world, but change was just beginning. Victory solved the beast's plight, but defeat left humanity with theirs. Millions of desperate humans were still trapped in their broken world. Fallow soil would starve most, and thin air would suffocate the rest. We learned that their invasion was motivated by a catastrophe threatening their existence. We learned that sometimes forgiveness requires deliberate effort. Despite their crimes, we looked to the future and prepared to accept humans into our world, no longer as invaders, but as brethren. We declared our forgiveness and pleaded with our goddess to help rescue our enemy. Pyrrha performed her second great miracle, the pilgrimage of humans. In an instant, millions were swept from the final closing of Death's Jaws. Humans were here to stay. The pilgrimage redefined our world again, but more change came with it. The pilgrimage rescued the brethren, but something else came along. An entity spread out underneath the world, the dungeon. Its mysterious power manifests labyrinths and ruins, monsters and traps, and other bizarre challenges. Invasion transformed the world. The pilgrimage transformed it again. Now, the dungeon is transforming it once more. Heroic beasts and brethren take up arms to chase it away wherever it may appear. More bold adventurers join the cause every day to win the unimaginable riches waiting in the dungeon's belly. The delve has begun. Delvers fascinate us with their eccentric lifestyle. Post-war reconstruction is complete, and the homelands are flourishing. Pestering dungeons need constant and diligent attention, but things have never looked brighter. We write our history today at this crossroad. We don't live in the shadow of ancient traditions and millennia-old prophecies. The future is open. Our everyday stories will become the legends that inspire future people. Today's Beast World is the setting. Who are the characters? That right there, I immediately appreciate that. I feel like for the first time in a while, there probably are other examples of it, but I don't know them off the top of my head, and this is my own just bias talking. I appreciate a setting that doesn't have your classic age-old, like, yes, the ancient ones made cool devices, but we lost them all because they did a big no-no to the Elder Gods or some shit. Which, fun fact, is actually a flaw that my homebrew setting has. I did the generic, like, ancient civilization, reached too far, got crunked. Oh, excuse me, had to get a drink of water there. That whole spiel. And so I appreciate having a setting that's a lot more fresh, I guess is a good way to put it. I enjoy that Delver's Guide is this very hopeful, upbeat kind of setting. It's very high fantasy as well. I might be able to breeze across it here a little bit more, but I enjoy this more high fantasy, casual magic setting. It has some delightfully dark corners to it as well, and it allows D&D parties and groups to explore playing this campaign from either like a very kind of hopeful, positive spin, or if you wanted to play like a really dark session or two, or even a dark campaign, honestly, like you could probably play around with that really well. The dungeon itself is a fantastic reason for murder hobos. Because, I mean, let's be real, in the grand scheme of things, most of our adventuring parties kind of are just murder hobos sometimes. And so to have like a more legitimate reason for it is a little bit welcoming, or at the very least it's going to make everyone's lives a little bit easier and helps with the whole debate or dilemma of like, well, is it okay to kill these goblins? Is it okay to blow up this orc camp? Is it okay to like do this or that? And it's like, well, yes, because the dungeon is just spawning these things to literally cause havoc and harm people. And so it helps feel a little bit more like, okay, this isn't quite so, yeah, like, what's the debate here? There's no debate. It's evil. Problem solved. Also, hello, Ava. I see that blue heart there. Hello, hello. Welcome to my ramblings. Welcome to Geek-out Night, episode 1. Okay, so what we're also going to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to skip around a little bit here because I want to also look into, besides the general basics of like the setting and everything, I love kind of the meat or mechanics that they added in with this third-party supplement. Most of the time, at least from what I feel like I've experienced, a lot of books like this where they try and add on to existing 5e content usually kind of try and pick a specific gimmick to play around with, which isn't bad, but it kind of becomes the cornerstone of that supplement. So unless you really want to play with that gimmick or that thing, the setting might not have the thing for you. I can't remember like specific names. I don't want to like name or out anyone. I just know they've seen a couple where it's like, this is specific like a Grimdark City campaign, and there's like nothing else to it. So unless so you gotta get the whole party to be super gung-ho into like, we're gonna play a Grimdark City setting, or we're gonna play some sort of like super high, super like low fantasy, just medieval grunge fest, things like that. Or if it's all boats, we're only on boats. The whole gimmick is boats. Looking at you, Spelljammer. That was a freaking official 5e content. It feels like the whole thing was just around, get on your space boat. But it's fine. You know, everyone has their gimmick and their thing they love. I just appreciate that it feels like Delver's Guide has hit the nail on the head in terms of being far more open-ended. You can run all kinds of campaigns in this. But I'm going to change gears a little bit here, and I'm actually going to go to page 237. We're going to talk about the different races. So first off, amazing art right here. I don't know the artist's name off the top of my head, but this is an amazing piece, and I would totally have this as my phone wallpaper. It's super great. I enjoy the species variety, but not only that, specifically homeland traits. That's one of the cool newer things that Delver's Guide introduces, is giving every race not only the option of like your background, like from the core rulebook for 5e, but also your homeland. So that way your character has a little bit more definement to them, and it plays around with how your culture might have modified or changed your education, your upbringing. So let's go ahead and go here for example. Yeah, homeland traits for the bovine. Bovine in general are very traditional to Alamance, which is sort of like this pseudo-Europe, medieval Europe setting area. What was it called here? They got the thing up here up a little bit. French-Irish, my mistake, or French-Irish region. And so you have your homeland traits. One of the homeland's most common species, bovines, tame the land and feed the people across the plains and hills of Alamance. Their hearts swell with joy at the sight of a good harvest. A slow and steady life is the norm among Ali Anguses, and they are proud to be the bedrock of their homeland. Ali bovines are a rural folk, and are often annoyed by fast-talking urbanites. The city lifestyle distracts from what bovines see as a fulfilling life. They have no time for the grifts and scams of out-of-town hucksters. Dependable, down-to-earth people earn the respect and friendship of an alley bull. Because of this impatience with flaky personalities, other species see bovines as quick-tempered hotheads. This reputation isn't entirely unearned. And you get the homeland trait, tenacious curiosity. Bovine stubbornness with Alamagnian leisure learning is a formidable thing. Your intelligence modifier is treated as 3 higher for the purpose of training in language or tool proficiency. Now that doesn't sound like much, it's a very specific niche thing, but the fact that you have that on top of your class, your racial traits, your background, because you still select a background like from the 5e core rulebook, it just adds a little bit more to the character. I come from a background of Pathfinder. I love Pathfinder 1st edition. I love having my massive like feat tree and my skill points and all that stuff. I love having heavy mechanics. So to play a 5e setting that adds like even just a little bit more to it is really nice. It helps add a little bit more to it, at least for me. Another one that's a personal favorite of mine is going to be it's possums specifically. Also, as we're just casually scrolling through here, you'll see the many different racial options in this game. This game has, thankfully, a pretty nice amount of variety to it. And it's going to be over here with the possums. We should be seeing them soon. I forget how far they are in the book. Oh god, there's so many. I forgot. Oh yeah, ovine, sheep. They're great. Oh my, okay, actually, wait, no, I have to stop here. I'm going to be ADHD scrolling through here, so just bear with me, folks. I absolutely love Inner Spark. Ovine wool gives a friend a little shock, but with a bit of practice, this can be honed into something extraordinary. Whenever you deal lightning damage to a creature, the creature takes an extra 1d4 lightning damage. It's just the little things like that, man. It's just those little things that add like a little bit of character and charm that you didn't even need to add in. What 5e book is gonna be like, because a gnome has, I don't know, shorter legs, they have a 1d4 to performance checks because they can get, like, they can do a fucking river dance faster or something. Nothing's gonna do that. No 5e book is gonna give weird niche little bonuses like that. I don't know why, but it just tickles me pink that they put in this little thing. It's really heartwarming to see like this fun little attention to detail. All right, here we go. All right, so the Angus one I read, or the bovine one I read, it was pretty much just a +3 to your intelligence modifier to try and learn a new tool proficiency or a new tool proficiency or language. That was it. I love this one for possums from Aurea. Aurea is this sort of Scandinavian, Norwegian, Russian thematic culture. I love the art for it, by the way. We'll have to go over to Aurea later. But this background, or this homeland trait you can get, mosquito in the crowd. When you make a stealth check to hide in a crowd, you are treated as proficient and add double your proficiency bonus to the check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. Which, if you're doing this as a rogue, that means like you're doubling shit on top of your doubling, so that's like crazy good. Additionally, when you hit a creature with a dagger or short sword while hidden, you can choose to delay any damage or effect of the attack until the start of your next turn. The creature only becomes aware of the attack when the effects occur. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. That right there, for me as both a player and a dungeon master, holds so much shenanigan ambush potential, because I love the idea of like, alright, we're gonna spell store a fireball in your dagger here. You're gonna go in that crowd, you're just gonna like boop boop them like right in the butt, and then like, you know, sneak on your merry way like next turn another like 30 and probably actually dash like 60 foot, get out of there. And then you just like tick 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 boom, he explodes. And everyone's like, oh god, what's happening? What's going on? You know, that's of course probably a more dramatized example of such a thing. But I really enjoy that they played around with like a variety of mechanics. There's another one for foxes from, I think it's Alar, I think it's Alar. No, I'm sorry, it's Arnaria, where because they're like desert-dwelling fennec foxes, they're familiar with more of like the loose magics of the area, and you can basically cast a spell and then as a bonus action make like a little dagger attack. And so it's just small details like that add like an extra bit of variety to the combat or just a gameplay in general that's really entertaining. Ursidae have a lot of like role play and like in memory stuff. It's interesting. I love that they gave bears like the elephants never forget kind of thing. I never would have thought bears had this kind of memory, but I enjoy that they added this twist to them at the very least. So bears have uncanny memories that trap and store every detail. You can accurately recall anything you have seen or heard. Additionally, when you make a strength or dexterity saving throw against a creature's non-magical ability, you have advantage on saving throws against future uses of that ability by the same creature. It's interesting that they gave bears like a sort of an elephants never forgets vibe. I'm fine with it though. I think it's fun. I enjoy that bears actually have more of like the intellectual but constitutional mix up to them, because that means you get a con score increased by 2 and then your intelligence increases by 1. So you know, you're the tanky wizard. Congratulations. What's another fun one here? Oh, Obsidian Bubble. So if you're a bear from Aurea, Aurea is the homeland of the Earth sign, so if you were from your native home for the most part. The secluded peaks of Aurea are a common sight for dragon lairs, and their volcanoes are often claimed by chromatic tyrants. Most Aureans know to stay away from known lairs. But Auric Earth signs have a dangerous tradition that has persisted for centuries. A headstrong young bear in Oria proves their mettle by climbing the side of a chromatic dragon's volcano lair. Their goal is to steal a chunk of smooth obsidian from the caldera and return from the heist alive. Once, if they do, the bear crafts an ornament from the black glass, wearing it as a trophy of their courage. Some Ursines choose to make another trip after every milestone in their lives. The most renowned northern Ursines wear dozens of shiny black garments and jewelry. Obsidian Bauble. You have proficiency with smith's tools. If you have access to a forge and a chunk of obsidian, you can spend 8 hours and 30 GP working on your smith's tools to create a small bauble, such as a brute or handheld toy. The bauble is an uncommon magic item. Any creature can touch the bauble while casting a first level spell, which has no effect other than to be stored in the item. As an action, a creature holding the bauble can cast the spell. This removes the spell and destroys the bauble. So you can basically make like free one-time use spell storing items. Which again, I really enjoy that fun little mechanical aspect. I enjoy spell storing shenanigans sometimes. If they're done right, they're really great. And then of course, I enjoy the little funny meta humor here from Vinyo, Rules Lawyer. Rules Lawyer, choose 2 first level spells. Those spells are on every class's spell list for you. So you just get 2 free spells, which is always fun, always nice. Adds a little bit of variety. But yeah, no, you see where I'm getting at, where depending on where your character comes from, adds an extra mechanical tool on top of your background. So you could be a Alamancian Ursine, and you get Spirit of Discourse, but you're a sailor. So you also get all the bonuses to being a sailor. And you haven't even selected your class yet. This is literally just more background information to evolve and modify your character and who this character is. Who are you playing? And I think this is a fantastic way to breathe some serious life into that question. I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it immensely. What is another great example? So, let me look at my list here. I have a script here, and I don't think I've been following it very well. I'm bad at following scripts, to be honest with you. I've talked about a variety of traits. I read a couple aloud. Delightful blend of combat and roleplay focuses. I looked at that a little bit too. So we can touch on the cultures a little bit. I'm going to have to scroll back a good ways here. Let me just really quickly find the cultures tab. While I'm doing that, anyone's got any questions, comments? Well, I'm looking for the right page here. Feel free to send a message my way. Tell me if this is interesting to you, if you got any questions on what I've read about so far. I know I kind of just really dove on into it. I dove nose deep and I didn't really give much more of a preface to it. I just really enjoy the setting and I just want to start talking about it. And I know I'm probably going really fast into it. But, I mean, maybe that just means that you need to go ahead and grab the book for yourself. I highly recommend it. The PDF itself, I think, is only like $10, $20 on their itch.io, however you want to pronounce it. Give them a check out. Let's go ahead and jump to page 30 here. I'm going to look at cultures. I don't know if I count Litfeld as a culture per se. Because Litfeld isn't one of the 5 big homelands. Litfeld is more specifically a roaming caravan city. And so for everyone who wants to play Delver's Guide, if you want to be a Delver and have your fun murder hobo excuse for going into dungeon after dungeon, blowing up orcs and goblins and getting your cool loot, becoming a part of Litfeld is highly recommended. This is where all the Delvers go. This is where they all meet up and become parties and friends. One reason for the creation of Litfeld was that apparently the Delve actually hunts Delvers, or at least it hunts adventurers. So trying to solo act in this system or setting doesn't seem highly recommended. It seems like the more loner you are trying to adventure, the more at threat you are. Which I kind of appreciate. It gives more incentive to make friends, to meet people, to just do the roleplay things and aspects that tabletop was made for. Basically, it's a great mechanical excuse to make friends. I could go through all this and talk about Litfeld a little bit here, but there is a lot to it. It's a living, roaming, breathing, like, oh my god, calm, fucking handsome boy here. Sorry, not gonna simp too hard here, but the whole Litfell Council, I'd simp for all of them. I'm simping for all of them right now, so speaking. So I'm gonna scroll like up here. They basically spend the whole time going around and around to different regions of the world, and they handle the delve. So they're going to take care of different issues coming across, again, where the dungeon might crop up, what it might do. They just, they're a roaming kind of nomadic town, and everywhere they stop at, they're going to quell at least several episodes or issues of the dungeon. So it's a great excuse to explore the entire world with this, with Litfeld, and get to see all the different facets that it has on offer. And we'll look at like more of those different cultures you might be visiting here later. I'm just going to take a quick deviation here. Let's see. I'm going to skip this paragraph a little bit here. And yeah, we're going to simp for the NPCs. Cohen, he's amazing. I love that also every NPC has this name and their description, or like the general bullet points. So then you as the dungeon master, if you're going to play these characters, they give you a nice brief little like, here's how you should try and play them. Because that, for me, honestly, like when I see this guy, I'd probably just play him as like, I don't know, a cool chat or something. But then you read this and you realize like, okay, he's excited to meet you, flirts with anyone receptive to it. He's just a bit dense. So we have a slight himbo going on. Constantly eating. I love that vibe as well. Again, like full fucking himbo vibes here. And then you can read more in depth about his personality, who he is, how he is somehow the leader of Litfeld. I really enjoy some of the small stories in here between these characters. They really flesh out the fun energy of Litfeld. I think what they've really accomplished here is a perfect blend of positivity, fun, and function. It's always funny to me how a lot of other folks that I've like tried DMing for or like talked about world building with, they almost see like a too happy of a setting as like well, there's flaws there, because like, if everyone's so happy, how is this getting done? How's that getting done? It's like, I don't know, people just enjoy the community they're in. People enjoy getting things done. I don't know, it's an interesting one. Trailhand Jail, he's also pretty great. I enjoy the leader competence, everything you need poured into tight pants. Halfway through a dozen romance novels. Jail, my god, you gotta finish at least one of those. And yeah, I could keep going here, but there's so many NPCs here to just kind of fawn over. It's ridiculous. It just keeps going. It doesn't stop. I love these two. I love this clothier, like tailor husbando pair. They're lovely. But yes, we will also now go ahead and do a quick, brief overview of the 5 major cultures. So, first one, again, they're sort of the French-Irish Alamance. Let's fix up my book page here, just keep up what we're doing. Put this over here, there we go. So yeah, Alamance, a little French-Irish inspired. I enjoy some of the aspects of, your classic like European rolling hills, dense forests, your monarchy, your noble court intrigue, nobles versus the common citizen, Glazrun, I think I'm pronouncing it right. Oh, there we go, Glazrun is very much your sort of Irish region, so if you wanted to play like in a very Irish accented character, you no longer have to default to dwarves. I swear, every dwarf I tried voice always defaults to like an Irish or Scottish voice. And now you have Glazrun, and in this setting, that means that that's your great excuse to have that accent and go funny and wild with it. Let's see. Oh, they also have, every section's going to talk about like how they perceive their Faerunism. Pirua is like the general goddess of life in this setting, and she's sort of like one of the few major deities that are worshipped. There's like 3 or 4 other big deities, but she's kind of the mainstay religion. And I appreciate that every culture perceives her teachings of life in a similar but different way. Everyone has their own expressions for it. For instance, in Alamance, the first divine charge is family. The second divine charge is love. Third is indulgence. Alamance is about freedom and expression and love and positivity. It's a really, really nice place. I love that this book allows for that sort of inclusivity and freedom. And I just really appreciate it. It's very comfortable to read and see. It's stuff that like, it's stuff that I know a lot of like major publishers are trying to go for, but I don't think many of them really hit the nail on the head with it. Because again, they have to sell to a mass market. They have to appeal to everyone. And so you don't get more intimate or personal writings like, let's see, the Alley sect gives the simple command, express the love you feel. By demonstrating it, the Beast Mother's merciful nature, a world where kindness can be a thing. I know, I love it. Express the love you feel. By demonstrating it, the Beast Mother's merciful nature shines through a person. They express this love in familial bonds, romantic and sexual love, and in charity towards a stranger. Devout Peruans of other sects are sometimes surprised by how flirty and permissive Alley visitors are. This even causes friction with some more chaste Vinyoshan Bethel keepers. They wonder how an Alley can keep focused on Pirua and their romantic partners, and 3 romantic partners at once. The very question confuses the Alamagnian. Doesn't one focus empower the other? That's something you'd absolutely never fucking see that in like any create like official 5e publication. Dear God, no. They're gonna talk about like a culture with more sexual love and freedom than, you know, anywhere here in America. God, no. Never gonna talk about that. Let's see. Go ahead and skip on through here. I've talked about elements a little bit. Oh my God, Louvain. I always get to the Louvain section. I think it's a whole different like culture world. No, this is like the capital city. The capital city of Alamance has the most like modern quote unquote tech. They have the hottest magical alchemical phenomena in the beast world. Soren scintillating soda. God, if I didn't have a hoarse throat, then I probably could like do the funny 1920s announcer voice that a little bit better. But this is kind of their example of how they do a little bit more like modern tech, because again, this is a high fantasy setting. I think, oh gosh, there's an FAQ in the beginning. I think they're for like even guns and stuff. It's like really basic early Renaissance. I could be wrong though. But yeah, I enjoy that aspect as well. And I love that you have this weird super modern stuff, and then like it just jumps back to like super medieval stained glass windows palace. I think that, okay, that is like, I guess one little con or nitpick I have is that Louvain feels like such a weird, like, it sticks out like a weird sore thumb, because everything else is so like medieval high fantasy, and then you have this one city that acts almost like a modern city, but is still technically medieval. I don't know, maybe it's just the photo doesn't do it justice, or maybe I need like a proper map to figure out this place. But to me, it really just doesn't fit. But again, maybe I need to like read this section better, and maybe someday I'll read it better for you guys as well. This is just generally going to be me geeking out for the next like probably like 30 minutes until my throat finally is like, please stop. I can already feel it starting to give out, honestly, but I want to try and at least get through like a little bit more. Who knows, maybe I should make this like a different sections or parts. We're still on elements, good lord, because this is Patry. Patry is, I believe, sort of the first major Brethren civilization or town. Yes, this is the first major human city that had the help of the Fae, or the Jackals, to basically kind of be set up and sorted out. Because essentially, there's a new whole world before them. How are you supposed to get from your one little city in the middle of nowhere to seeing the rest of the world? And the Jackals, or the Fae folk, gave them basically a teleporter. They gave them a, what is it called? It's portals and beans. When Jackals emerged from the shadows of hidden places to aid the world's newest kin, most beasts had never seen one. Many considered these tall, otherworldly creatures to be a myth. The effort to establish the city of Patry was world-shaking, but it wouldn't have been enough without their alliance. The Jackals predicted some problems a metropolis from nowhere might face, and offered 2 gifts to kickstart its growth, one great and one small. And we'll skip a new brew that's just coffee to the junction. The Jackal's larger gift brought the world closer to the human city. They used powerful magics to erect the junction, a black stone ziggurat in its center. Brethren are eager to visit the distant corners of an unfamiliar world, and the junction gives them a permanent means of instant travel. When the Jackals revealed the building's purpose, they demonstrated a rare moment of levity. The jackal Lineferti told the humans, "We didn't trust the Alamagnians to manage the logistics of the junction, but you humans seem to grasp the concept of punctuality." Queen Sophia was not amused. And then it continues to go on here, but it's a great excuse for, like, Brethren players to be, like, anywhere in the world they want to be. I don't think you can, like, properly traveling through a facet. Okay, and then it has, like, the science behind, or not the science, but, like, how to get through and all that stuff. Oh, boy. Light of Self. Oh, Light of Self. I also really enjoy the Light of Self. This is very, very inclusive, very welcoming, very inviting. Oh, man, I could go in and start reading about it. I just know it's awesome. Oh, my God. We're about 36 minutes in. God, I've been ranting already for like 36 minutes. I'll be honest, actually, I think I'm going to cut this short. I didn't realize this Geek Out would take this much effort. I'm starting to feel just a little tired from trying to, like, read through this book and try to keep my thoughts straight. My sore throat is not helping this in the slightest. So I think I'm actually going to play it safe. I'm going to be healthy and smart here. I'm going to probably take a break. I really do need to give my throat a rest. I have not given it much of a rest since it got hoarse and scratchy back on Monday. So rather than try and stream this, I should probably give it a break. So, for those who did come and watch, thank you very much for watching. I guess we'll consider this part one of episode of Delver's Guide to Beast World. And so episode 2, I'll probably get more into the other cultures a little bit more. Feel free to go down in the comments and ask me questions, or frankly just tell me, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Can you, like, backpedal a little bit? Because I would love to, like, keep talking about this book and keep ranting about it. I find Delver's Guide to be an amazing setting, and I just would really love to keep going on it, but yeah, my throat is not letting me do that. I can really feel it starting to wear out. I was going to stream some games a little bit after this, but I think I'm probably going to play smart, just let my throat rest for a bit. So, to those who did come and watch, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming by. I'll probably make a little post or something just saying thank you to those who did. But beyond that, next week is going to be a Tavern-Talks on player struggles. I want to talk about when to be in and out of character. I want to talk about how to get comfortable being character. It's something that I really struggle with, and I think talking openly about it could help folks a lot. And again, maybe it's just a me issue, but I think others might enjoy talking about it as well. For now, though, thank you all so much for watching. You have yourselves a wonderful Friday. Get that posture check in, drink plenty of water, do your stretches, and I will see y'all when I see